few days ago, SpaceX rewired the record books with the biggest IPO in history. Now, it's already spending that new public currency in a way that says a lot about where Elon Musk wants the company to go next. SpaceX has officially agreed to acquire AI coding startup Cursor at a valuation of $60 billion. The two companies signed a preliminary agreement back in April. It's a pretty striking clause. Either SpaceX would take over Cursor or it would pay $10 billion just for their work together. They postponed the final decision until after SpaceX went public, and now that the IPO is done, they've chosen the full acquisition. The merger is expected to close in the third quarter of this year. Welcome to Business Insights Daily. I'm your host, Zayak. What does it mean when a rocket company spends $60 billion on a code editor? As you listen, you might want to keep this question at the back of your mind. If a firm that builds reusable rockets and satellites is willing to pay this much for an AI coding tool, are we still talking about a coding company, space company at all, or a new kind of integrated space and software platform? Let's start with the structure of this deal because it's very, very unusual. Back in April, before SpaceX went public, the company agreed terms on a deal with two possible paths. Path 1, after the IPO, SpaceX acquires Cursor outright. Path 2, if the acquisition didn't happen, SpaceX would pay $10 billion just to work together. Essentially, massive multi-year partnership or breakup fee. Now that SpaceX is trading publicly, it has chosen the full acquisition route, valuing Cursor at about $60 billion. Cursor technology and team are in the works of wanting optionality until its IPO is complete, probably to preserve flexibility around capital, valuation, and regulatory scrutiny. Cursor's technology and team are in SpaceX size, so strategically important that even the backup plan involved a $10 billion commitment. And once the IPO unlocked a huge war chest and public currency, the logic shifted from partner deeply to bring it in-house. Is this about better tools for engineers or about owning the rails of the AI, how code gets written in the AI era? Which leads to a big second question. Are SpaceX and Musk primarily buying Cursor to make their own developers more productive? Or do they see this as the foundation of a much broader platform for how software is built across industries? Cursor is at its core a native AI coding environment. Think of it as a code integrator that can deeply integrate large language models trained on code. A system where the AI can begin understand your code base, suggest and generate function tests and refactors, and help you navigate and reason without complex systems. It's part of a wave that can try to turn AI tools into true pair programming, not just autocomplete on steroids. Why would SpaceX care so much? SpaceX is fundamentally a software-intensive company wrapped in metal and fuel. Rockets run on custom flight software and real-time concerns. Starlink is much more a networking and software problem as it is a hardware one. And any AI ambitions from satellite routing, onboard autonomy, to ground station optimization require high-quality, rapidly evolving code. By buying Cursor, SpaceX can standardize the AI-assisted development environment across its base engineering teams. Train models specifically on SpaceX code bases. All the proprietary logic, safety constraints, and some domain knowledge baked in, and shorten cycle times for new features, bug fixes, and simulation toolings. And beyond SpaceX's internal teams, a mature Cursor platform could be offered to external developers building on Starlink or other SpaceX APIs, enterprise customers who want SpaceX-grade code and tools for their own complex systems. Is this acquisition about building rockets faster or rewriting code who controls the tools that builds the software? That brings us to the third big question. When a company with ambitions in space, AI, and connectivity owns a leading coding assistant, does it simply accelerate its own work, or does it shape the whole ecosystem of how critical software gets written? Timing here matters. SpaceX raised roughly $75 billion in the largest IPO ever. Its public valuation of north of $1.7 trillion cemented Elon Musk as the world's first ever billionaire. So why move so quickly on Cursor? Well, a few reasons stand out. Post IPO, big strategic moves send a message. SpaceX is not just going to sit on cash, it's going to deploy capital in growth, capability building, and especially around AI. Locking in talent. In AI, talent is asset. Acquiring Cursor now brings a specialized team under SpaceX's umbrella before rivals can bid. It lets SpaceX offer stock in newly public company as part of a retention package. And SpaceX increasingly starts behaving like a vertically integrated tech conglomerate. It builds rockets instead of just buying launch services. It builds satellites and operates the network rather than relying on third-party connectivity. Now it wants to own the key parts of the software creation stack. Number 4. Competitive preemption. If Cursor remains independent, it could deepen ties with other big players, integrate deeply with cloud platforms that rival AI ecosystems, and by buying it, SpaceX ensures that one of the most promising AI coding tools is aligned with its own roadmap. What this means inside of SpaceX? Inside SpaceX, this acquisition would touch almost every engineering team. Imagine flight software engineers using SpaceX tuned Cursor to quickly prompt new guidance algorithms, generate rigorous test suites, and surface edge cases in simulations. Starlink engineers using it to optimize routing protocols, analyze telemetry streams and incident logs more intelligently, and co-design firmware and backend services. Data scientists and AI researchers are using it to move faster between experiments and production, as well as maintain complex pipelines with AI help in refactoring and documentation. If done well, the result is a higher leverage per engineer. The same headcount can ship more, fast more. More consistent quality AI assistants don't just get tired, they also get faster. They can enforce patterns and best practices. Number 2. Faster boarding. New hires can lean into AI to help them understand sprawling databases. But there are also challenges. Integrating a general purpose AI safety coding tool into critical domains requires extreme rigor. An incorrect line of code in a rocket or satellite system is not the same as a bug in a web app. Culture matters. SpaceX engineering culture is known for its high intensity standards and high standards. Introducing AI changes how people work and collaborate. The upside is huge. The tool require very, very hard handrails. The bigger picture. SpaceX has space and AI conglomerate. Taken together, the IPO and Cursor deal, SpaceX is starting to look less like a pure space launch company and more like a space plus AI platform group. Consider the pieces: launches and spacecraft, hardware manufacturing operations. Starlink, a global connectivity network with growing enterprise and government ties. AI infrastructure, data, compute and other cases embedded in rockets, satellites and ground systems, and developed tools. Cursor, layer that shapes how internal and potentially external software is built. The architecture resembles a kind of vertically integrated infrastructure empire from orbit all the way down to IDE where code is written. A portfolio where each piece reinforces others. Better AI tools, fast Starlink and rocket development, more launches and satellites, more data and use cases for AI, and stronger internal AI culture. More reason to own and refine a premium coding assistant. For other tech giants, It's also a shoot across the bow. Cloud providers are investing into their own AI coding and assistant tools. Hardware makers are trying to add more software and services on top. And SpaceX is doing a version of both. It anchored around space and connectivity rather than the traditional cloud. So the next time you hear about a rocket launch, Starlink rollout, it might be worth remembering. Somewhere beneath those feeds, there's a growing stack of AI-powered software, and now one of the tools that writes that software belongs to the same company that sends those rockets into the sky. Thank you for listening to Business Insights Daily. I'm your host Shank, and we'll see you tomorrow.